In celebration of Dragon Ball Deliverance's beating of Toei Animation's false copyright and getting back on the air on the Notorious Luke channel, I needed to drop this video right away. The full story of Dragon Ball Epsilon in my style. Be warned, the first part is for the OG BlackScape fans. Let's get to it. For this, I'm going to go ahead and go through the negative first and then the positive of the episode. Now, this is a fan animation, so it's not going to have like the crisp professional quality to it that, say, the actual anime may have, Dragon Ball Z, Super, or any other anime. But seriously, this actually is not that bad. The production quality is actually really fluent, and it seems like they have actual animators that worked on actual projects with at least some of the fight scenes. Some of the still scenes seem a little bit too still, like when they're talking it seems like they wouldn't be able to move in the same way that they do once they actually start fighting. It actually took me by surprise once they actually started fighting that they move with such fluidity, because when they were just talking, all the characters, it's extremely stiff, and it feels like that's how the fight scenes are going to be. Luckily, that's not the situation. The dialogue in the episode, for the most part, was pretty good, but there were sort of chunks of clunkiness that really the episodes could have done without. It just seemed like something on the scripting part was making it so we were being fed way too much exposition, and that's not something that is unique to this, because a lot of animes, a lot of shows, they feed a lot of exposition, especially in the first episode. So I mean, I'm gonna take this as a pass, but at the same time, it was a little bit much at certain points, especially when characters were interacting and talking with each other. It just seemed like they weren't having a natural conversation. Not all the time, but some parts in the actual episode itself. The production quality, again, in some of the scenes, it felt stilted, but when it got into the action sequences, it felt very smooth. It felt very professional. There were certain scenes that I loved, and it looked like they came straight out of they were influenced by other anime, but it just works so well here. And the one thing I really liked about this, actually the best part I liked about this, is that it really pushed the storyline. It's after G-Team, essentially, and it really pushed the storyline on Gohan and Gohan's experience. And this first episode could really be called the Gohan episode, because it was essentially focused all around Gohan. They had a very surprisingly touching scene where Goku kind of comes back to talk to Gohan for a minute, telling him what he needs to do and that he's going to be gone for a little bit longer. And it was actually surprisingly touching. Even when Gohan went back to try to show him Pan's picture, you know, to show how she's grown and stuff like that, and Goku was gone, it was a really nice touch. I was surprised at it, to be honest with you. I was surprised at how deep and emotional that portion of it was. The ending portion of this episode is insane, and it really makes me like Gohan. Like, this whole episode made me really root for Gohan's character. It was the first time that I felt like Gohan really had a place in the current story. I did like who eventually the enemy was. I liked their power, I liked their strengths, I liked their abilities.
Fine, but just so you know, I didn't ask for this.
Go ahead, but don't say I didn't warn you. If I see the slightest opportunity, I won't hesitate. I'll kill you.
Yes! That was awesome!
Episode 2 is a masterpiece in Dragon Ball fan animation, and I'm not trying to sell it or upsell it by saying that. It is truly something unique. They have taken the style of not only Shintani, but Naotoshi Shida in its fluid combat and vibrant visuals, and have put that into this story so effortlessly that the entire thing seems like a professionally made project. It is breathtaking. I'm not even trying to sell it. It's breathtaking. One issue that I have is that it really doesn't resemble anything Dragon Ball, and it's only an issue if you are one of those people that want Dragon Ball to resemble Dragon Ball, and for me, that's not a problem. I'm a Dragon Ball fan manga specialist. I've listened, read, and watched several different Dragon Ball stories, so they all have something new to tell, and they're not all the same. Some of them are extremely similar to Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, even the original Dragon Ball, and some of them take the concepts of Dragon Ball and just go nuts with it. And I believe Dragon Ball Deliverance is that second category, because the aliens in this, they don't feel like anything that you would see in Dragon Ball. And not only that, their powers, their abilities, the gruesomeness of some of these fights, they don't seem like Dragon Ball. They seem more like Dragon Ball Multiverse in a certain way, but even just the character designs for some of these villains don't seem like anything from Dragon Ball. They seem more like One Punch Man characters, if anything, but that's the beauty of fan animations, fan stories, is that you can really do whatever the hell you want, but as long as you're telling a compelling story and the animation is good, well, there you go, that's all you need. And I'll be the first one to say it, I reviewed episode 1 of Dragon Ball Deliverance a year ago, and this is back when I was a lot smaller, but I reviewed it and I thought that it was alright. I thought it was an interesting concept. Basically what happened is that this is a story after Dragon Ball GT. You have these aliens coming to the Z Fighters, at least the ones that are grown up and the ones that are left, asking them for help on planet Namek. They say that Broly is going around killing everybody, basically, and they want Kakarot or Goku to come and save them, but Goku is obviously not there. He's with Shenron, so Vegeta and the gang go to planet Namek, but they are ambushed by the same people that asked for help. And so Vegeta is fighting Broly in this episode, but the rest of the Z Fighters get ambushed by several different characters that are the ones in the cloaks. Episode 1 had one good fight. The one at the end with Gohan versus the main bad guy. I don't know his name, but he sort of looks like Hit crossing over with Slug, sort of. But yeah, that was the best fight. That was where the fluidity of Naotoshi Shida's inspiration, the animation style, that's where it was focused on. And the rest of it was all talking and very stilted, like really stilted. The character models were a little bit off. They didn't seem like they had really perfected how these characters were going to look yet. Yeah, this episode is a complete 180 from episode 1. There has not been a better glow up in Dragon Ball than when Dragon Ball Super got past episode 5, because the first episode, it's not as bad obviously as Dragon Ball Super episode 5, but it's still not that good in animation style, and even the voice acting was a little bit off in my opinion, but the story was interesting and the fight at the end was pretty cool. This is professionally made. Episode 2 is professionally made. Merrick Marimo is one of the artists that I've showcased on this channel. He's on Twitter. He actually helped create this animation, so you can actually tell that there is a lot of focus on character models and just it looking like Shintani mixed with Naotoshi Shida. This is so well done. The character models are all spot on. The fights, everything, all the motions are extremely fluid. I am not shocked that this took a year to make, because this is a lot of work. There's 17 minutes here and every piece of animation is beautiful. And a lot of the main characters get a lot of shine. So we have Vegeta at Super Saiyan 3 facing off against Broly at Super Saiyan 3. We don't see much of that fight, but we jump right into, I would say, my favorite part in this, and that is Majub versus one of the bad guys. And I gotta tell you, Majub, which is basically just Majin Buu and Oob mixed together, sort of. Yeah, this is how Oob needs to be in Dragon Ball. When he comes, these are the movesets. This is the power that he needs to have. he talks to Goku, telling him that he doesn't want to rely on Buu's abilities, and Goku tells him that no, he relied on surpassing and crushing and taming the Oozaru power inside of him. That's how he got stronger. He told Oob that he needs to do the same thing. Oob ends up mastering this ability, the ability of Majin Buu, and now he just has all Majin Buu's powers, and we get to this great shot of what looks like Majin Buu coming out his back, and he can even take pieces off himself and make Majin Buu characters. Like, he is so overpowered, but his animation style, his abilities lend themselves well to that animation style. The Majin Buu abilities are extremely fluid, and they just look so good in this episode. This was definitely the highlight of this episode for me. And then we have Pan and Bulla facing off against bad guy number 2. Now, they don't really fight, but yeah, the thickness is on full display, and Bulla has this ability. She turns on this ring, and for a minute there, I thought she was about to fuse with some sort of device with Pan, but the ring actually puts a suit like Tony Stark style on her body, and we don't really see what it does, but they both turn Super Saiyan, and then we cut to... I wouldn't know what this bad guy's name was if I hadn't seen a video drop last night with the music for this episode saying that this is Gotenks versus Gargoyle, and this guy is straight up Gargoyle. He is vicious, and he ends up just kicking the crap out of Gotenks. He takes out one of his eye. That's what I'm talking about. Like, this shot right here where Gotenks' eye is just coming out of his socket. Yeah, that's not something you normally would see in Dragon Ball. Hell, that might be a little bit too much for Dragon Ball Multiverse, but it still works exceptionally well. But Gotenks does lose to this creature, and I would say out of all designs, this creature reminds me a lot of the bad guy from One Punch Man, the one they were facing off against at the last episode of One Punch Man Season 1. Yeah, he reminds me a lot like that. And the last thing we have here is the ending of the episode, and this is the bad guy. He had killed Gohan in the ending of the last episode, so we cut back to him, and it's like Gohan's power is sort of pushing his limits of what he did with his soul. I guess the guy sucked his soul out of his body, and so you can feel Gohan running through his veins, I guess, and this guy cuts off a finger and makes a Gohan clone because I guess he's got access to Gohan's soul, so he created like a Gohan clone of some type. But yeah, again, not something you normally would see in Dragon Ball, but it definitely works here. It's just so well done. Like, I'm in shock right now at how good this episode was. I normally don't gush like this over fan animations, and that's not saying that they're, you know, bad in any sort of way. I just don't normally get so involved in them heavily or emotionally, and just this one gave me so much that I wanted to see. They gave me Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, gave me Majub, and then it gave me Pan and Bulla in Super Saiyan form, and it gave me Gohan's death, which actually was pretty sad when the guy was just talking to his corpse. It actually kind of resonated a little bit with me that Gohan's dead, because the guy kind of rubbed it in that he was Goku's son, he was supposed to take over for him, and now he's gone. So yeah, again, Notorious Luke, make more. I will wait an entire year for this. I don't care. I'll wait 2 years. I don't give a shit.
You're exactly as I remember. A true piece of trash.
You look surprised. If you thought this was going to turn out the same way it did back then you're dead wrong.
What is a king to a god?
And what is a god to a non-believer?
Dragon Ball Deliverance quite literally is the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood of Dragon Ball GT. It improves on everything, shooting a huge time skip with much older and mature characters, much more mature themes, blood, action, visceral action, and just a lot of shit that builds upon Dragon Ball that just makes sense. And it can all be seen here in the first scene of Dragon Ball Deliverance, where we get exactly what the motivation is of the villains and why they are ambushing our heroes in the first place.
What a terrible sight to behold. This place used to be the pinnacle of excellence, the center of the universe, reduced to a mere swamp. I curse those foolish elders for plunging my world into mediocrity. achieving satisfaction with nothing but water and meditation. Having no ambition to develop Namek into bringing out its full potential, it's infuriating! But I, the commander, will change that.
Talking about Dragon Ball Deliverance Episode 3, we should really focus on the beginning fight between Bra, Pan, and a new character called Digger, a member of the Order that has ambushed the Universe 7 team and has put them through hell on planet Namek. But this opening fight really showcases exactly what the huge changes to the Dragon Ball concept could actually be, because it promotes and shows brand new abilities and concepts that we've never seen.
That's...
Too slow.
The first and foremost is a power armor suit. So originally the concept of a power suit really didn't interest me in Dragon Ball, mainly due to the fact that these characters are so freaking powerful that the power suit wouldn't really add much to their abilities, plus at the same time it would get destroyed and damaged, and that would be the end of the suit, similar to how armor in early Saiyan Saga sort of phased out toward the end and only Vegeta really wears it. Well, this is not the case with this focus, because this power suit that Bra developed for herself is one that targets the body with a small concentrated burst of blood's waves, enough to trigger S cells in the brain, in the DNA. That way it amplifies the Super Saiyan powers in the host. Not only that, but the power armor itself is damage resistant. It'll come back if it's destroyed, and it will regenerate almost like a second skin. So that's kind of the effects that it has. It's very durable, it acts like a second skin, and it amplifies the effects of the user. This concept focuses specifically on the Saiyans with blood's waves, and even Bra says if they are too much, then she will transform into a Super Saiyan 4, which she really doesn't want to do. She wants to focus mainly on the Super Saiyan transformation, but seeing Vegeta in Super Saiyan 4 a little bit down the line, you kind of come to wonder, like, why the hell would you not become a Super Saiyan 4 at that point? But she doesn't want to be. This concept alone can really be revolutionary when it comes to Dragon Ball in general, and focus not only on just, you know, the Saiyans, but specifically the Earthlings. Earthlings could have a suit like this that amplifies their abilities, similar to how the androids were amplified mechanically. Android 18 and 17, they're like biomechanical organisms, and yet they are so powerful, and powerful enough to compete in the tournament of power. So this concept could be put as a amplifier to an Earthling, making them as powerful as androids. This is really, really cool, and I would want to see more of this in either future Dragon Ball fan mangas, fan animations, or Dragon Ball Super itself.
I'll wipe that smirk off your face! What the?
My turn.
My shoulder. Damn it. It's become a weakness after all those years.
Broly versus Vegeta is by far the best fight in this episode. I praised a lot about the power suit, but the Broly versus Vegeta fight is very, very visceral. It is a rematch because Vegeta states that the events of Broly, the movie, are actually true. They are having a rematch, and right now in this beginning fight, Vegeta and Broly, both in Super Saiyan 3, are sorta evenly matched. But the one thing that Broly has that Vegeta and other fighters don't have is the fact that he gets stronger the longer and longer he fights. It's the same thing with Dragon Ball Super Broly. So the longer he fights against Vegeta, the stronger and the more immense his power becomes to eclipse Vegeta, and that's exactly what ends up happening. happening, and the fight takes a really interesting turn, focusing on the specifics and the positives of the Broly transformations and giving them a huge spotlight here because Vegeta is always racing to catch up. Plus we have this shot right here, which is just phenomenal.
But he's just as tough as I remember. Eat this! Final!
And Broly does have Vegeta on the ropes most of this fight until Vegeta's tail pops out. And then I am telling you right now, guys, this is by far the sleekest Super Saiyan 4 transformation that you will ever see with your own eyeballs. Because this thing is just gorgeous. It is sleek. It is such a natural transformation from 3 to 4 that it just made me awe at it as soon as I watched it. I had to replay that clip several times over because of how beautiful it was, and at that point Super Saiyan 4 eclipses Broly and even finishes him off with a brand new ability that Vegeta developed. And this ability is not only an energy ability, but it also is a physical one as well. This is when we get the revelation that the whole purpose of this, the Namekian commander was trying to kidnap Broly. He wanted Vegeta to damage him enough to kidnap him. He never realized that Vegeta would actually defeat Broly, and that made it so much easier for him. And then he puts Vegeta to sleep through a brand new ability, which seems to just be like a key dart, like a poisonous key dart that just puts people to sleep or poisons them. It is really, really cool to think about. But when we go further into this episode, we find out that not only can Buu manifest Majin Buu through his own body, but this dude actually talks to him like another character. Like, Buu is very much alive. At least it seems like it's Buuhan is alive inside Buu. And he talks to him and he regrows clothes, and basically Oob is just using him, and it's such a cool dynamic. And I've made like a lot of videos talking about how cool this dynamic is, and so I probably warned that out, but yes, it is really, really cool, and this is the direction that they need to go with Oob when Dragon Ball Super returns. But unfortunately for them, they find out that Gohan actually lost his soul. And it looks like the commander took it from him, creating a brand new sort of amoeba-styled, gremlin-looking character that looks kind of like Gohan with all his abilities. And this character fights Pan and almost kills her until we get the reveal that Piccolo is back with a brand new suit, looking sleek as all hell, and a halo. This is a perfect cliffhanger, guys.
Subscribe for more content. Perish.